Hey guys, today I wanted to do a spotlight video and I'm going to do my spotlight on the Communicrate. The Communicrate is a subscription box that comes in a lot of different sizes. I get the biggest size right now. It has a different theme every month and it comes with a lot of different resources that are wonderful for therapists, teachers, parents, and anyone really who's working with children that are trying to build their speech skills. I have found that the resources can be used in a lot of different ways, so for this spotlight video I wanted to go ahead and just do a little bit of like an unboxing and show you guys what is inside my most recent Communicrate. I have not opened this one yet, so I'm very excited to see exactly what's inside. I think it is the weather theme Communicrate. So I think that that's wonderful. Weather-themed resources are definitely something that I can utilize in a lot of different settings. So when I opened up my Communicrate, this is what it looked like. Woo! The Communicrate does have some different types of materials each month, but a lot of the materials stay very regular as far as the type of resources that you're going to get. So one of the things that you always get are these adapted books. This is the first one that was in my crate. I love using these books in a lot of different ways. They each have a lot of different themes and goals that can be associated with them. This one says, "What is the forecast?" and it describes different types of weather patterns. So for example, this one says, "It's gloomy and wet outside. What is the forecast?" And you might have to say, "It is rainy." So the child can take off the icon and put it on over here. So these adapted books are really excellent for working on a lot of goals, and I can think of a lot of ways I would use this one. There are typically multiple adapted books in a Communicrate, so in addition to the forecast book, I also got Dressing for the Weather, which is going to be a great functional book that I can use. I've got The Four Seasons. Again, really great. There are tons of ways I can use this. I can count the clouds. So this one is working on counting. You can see that the adapted icons for this one each have a different number. Ooh, and this one would be great for science goals. I know the water cycle. So those are all of the adapted books that are in my Communicrate. I got 5 adapted books in the largest crate. Under the adapted books, there are some paper materials. There is a theme guide that talks about some of the other things you can do with the weather-themed unit, and it divides each activity into different areas. So there's play activities, fine motor activities, social emotional activities, all sorts of good ideas. You get a theme unit letter for parents if you want to send a letter home that talks about vocabulary, activities that they can do at home, that type of thing. You get a bunch of book and play recommendations, 3 different sheets right now of book and toy resource type materials that you can check out if you want things that go along with this unit. This crate also came with some following directions color activities. These come with little pictures and directions for how they should be colored, so fairly self-explanatory, but some more great materials that we can use. Next thing that came in my Communicrate is a weather match mat. These match mats come in a lot of the crates, and they're always a little bit different. Sometimes they're pictures that match. So that looks like what this one is. So you can match the cloud to the cloud, that type of thing. Sometimes it's questions or descriptions underneath, and you have to match the item to the question or description. Sometimes it's just a word, so it might say, you know, lightning, and you would have to match that. Raindrop, and you would have to match that kind of thing. These can be used in a lot of different ways. I like using them in sensory bins and also for activities with larger groups where I need to be able to give a token to each child in the group. Next in the crate, there are a few more paper materials. There's a theme planning calendar. There's a sheet with suggestions for different theme technology apps that you can use. And then there is a little "What is the weather today?" spinner that you could make. There's just a couple more things in the crate. There are weather vocabulary cards. These vocab cards come in each crate with the different vocabulary for the theme unit. So like lightning, temperature, tornado, and lots of other words, hurricane, rainy, that go along with the theme unit. And the last thing in the crate are these weather theme figurative language cards. Sometimes this last card activity is something different. I have seen other figurative language cards in the crates before as well, and these are mostly idioms usually that can be explained, so they're great for older kids or maybe children with autism who have a little bit more trouble with that literal language. So, for example, explain to be under the weather. Explain when it rains, it pours. That kind of thing. I did want to also note that since I started subscribing to the Communicrate, they have updated the materials that they use to make some of the resources. Now they are like kind of a hard plastic. I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but there's definitely a thickness to it. And I find these really wonderful because they are not as easy to destroy as thin paper or laminated materials. They're pretty hardy, and they're also very easy to wipe clean. So that is everything in my weather themed Communicrate. I have really enjoyed using these resources every month, and to be honest, it's just a lot easier to get resources for themes that are sent to your door. I know that's one of the main reasons that Kristen started this service, is because it's a lot of work being a therapist and constantly coming up with new materials and getting them colored and cut and laminated, etc., for all of your different kiddos and all of their different goals on a pretty constant basis because you're working through these goals. So I know that it has made my life a lot easier to have some of these resources that can be utilized just coming straight to my door in a subscription box. The Communicrate resources all center around a theme each month, but there are some books that I found myself using a lot regardless of what the theme is for the rest of my session. I use the books a lot that focus on clothing and functional clothing. I use the books a lot that focus on questions, like yes/no questions. Those are really great. There is one that came in the emotions crate that's all about calming down and different kind of coping mechanisms that you can use. I use that one a lot. I keep some of them on my bookshelf instead of in my theme crates because they have become so functional for me to use in a variety of different sessions. So I'm actually peeking back here to see what's on my bookshelf right now, and I have the What to Know Before You Go book about going to the bathroom routines, and then the morning school routine book that works on sequencing your morning routine, and it also works on he, she, they words. So I use those a lot. Since I started subscribing to the Communicrate, they have had a lot of great themes. I know that I've gotten themes like winter activities, feelings, dinosaurs, back to school, community helpers, a lot of other wonderful themes, and I have been able to find a lot of great ways to use these resources in my music therapy sessions and groups. I will link the Communicrate's Instagram down below because they post a lot of great ideas on how these resources can be used, and they can also keep you up to date on the deadline for when each crate needs to be purchased. So that's it for my spotlight on the Communicrate. I will leave a link down below where you can learn more or purchase a Communicrate if you're interested. I think these resources have a lot of great uses. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions or comments about these products. And leave a comment down below or like this video if you'd be interested in seeing a video on how I use some of these resources in a music therapy session or group. That is it for this video. I will talk to you all next time. Bye!